Welcome back, Money Team. This is Mad Money Shot, sniffing out the college cheese and Madden cheese as always. In today's video, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant to try to counteract a little bit the hype train that is basically going off the rails right now when it comes to college football 26 specifically, which is releasing in just a couple of days, as there's a full slew of content creators right now dropping content. And I just want to remind everybody that this is the yearly cycle when it comes to these games, when it comes to any EA game really, where the hype gets really blown out of proportion to the point where everybody thinks this game is going to finally fix all the issues that it hasn't fixed for like the last decade, and then it's going to be the exact same cycle where it's basically the exact same game with the same broken bugs and the same issues. And I just think that it's not really fair for all these content creators who are clearly incentivized for their opinions to be the way that they are, because let's be honest, I'm a content creator for Madden and for college football. And basically, I'm going to have a better year the more you guys play it, the same way they're going to have a better year the more you guys play it. But the reason that they're not saying anything negative is because they're getting, and I know some will. Some will say a few small negative things, not to piss off EA, but at the same time, trying to sound impartial, even though they're clearly not. But ultimately, all these content creators are complicit when it comes to peddling EA's lies. And the reason that they're doing it is because even though they're not getting paid, they're getting incentivized either by getting early access for their channel, which is obviously huge right now, considering we're like right before the game starts and it's kind of like the dead season. So they're getting access early, whether it's going down to EA Play, where they basically ship everybody down to Orlando. They pay for tickets and hotels and send everybody to Orlando, or they're being incentivized with early content, which obviously is going to dominate the market right now, getting them more ad revenue and stuff like that, which is basically the name of the game. It's helping them out. It's helping their brand. The fact that they have content to put out right now when people like myself don't. Now, if that sounds like I'm a hater because I'm saying that, that's not really the case. I just want you guys to know that when this game does come out and it does have all the same bugs and it does have all the same issues, that we can't just look at EA and be mad at EA for lying to you, because that's their job. It's typically what they do. It's the cycle. They sell you a product every single year. We have to remember that these content creators are complicit to the point where they didn't bother to mention the fact that, hey, they're playing the game right now and they're seeing all these issues, and they left all that out, and they're telling you to get the game and spend your hard-earned money and acting like this game's going to be brand new, when I'm guessing, like I said, I haven't even played it, but I'm guessing it's going to be the exact same perpetuated cycle, because I've been going through the cycle for like the last 20 years, and anybody who's been playing these games long enough know that this is the exact same cycle that it always is. The hype train gets off the rails, everybody runs out and buys the game and spends a whole bunch of money, and then when they get on the game, they see there's a shit ton of bugs, which is typical of these games. Now, I'm back in college football 25 right now, and it's just a painful reminder of just how bad this game was and how many game-breaking bugs this game had, which is why I've been waiting to make this basically a rant, because I don't want to be a negative content creator. I want to be Ryan Moody, who basically is on brand every single time he says something negative. He doesn't even look to be impartial. He doesn't even look to say positive things. He just wants to stay negative all the time because that's his brand, and ultimately he doesn't play the game anyway. You can tell this guy doesn't buy these games. He doesn't play these games. He just talks negatively about them because he knows there's a market for that. So I don't want to be like that, but I can't deny that there's so many issues in this game. I just can't think that they would have fixed them all in the course of a year. I mean, let's be honest. Madden has the same perpetuating issues every year because it's basically a roster update with some new features that they added, but ultimately it's the same game every year. I mean, it's not like they're making a new game every year. That's impossible. Look how long it's taken to make GTA 6. College football, though, doesn't have that same excuse. They were making this game behind the scene for several years, so they had plenty of time to work out all these bugs, and it still had a ton of game-breaking glitches and bugs that made this game almost impossible to play sometimes. Specifically in Dynasty mode, which is one of the most popular game modes, obviously. There's so many issues when it comes to like recruiting, simple things that went throughout the entire year and never got addressed. Issues like if you get past a certain week and you use up all your hours, they don't repopulate, which is something that's not supposed to be that way. If you get to the games, the actual games, and you have 0 hours, you can go several weeks without getting any recruiting hours back, costing you major recruits. And that's just one of the smaller ones. We all know they had scheduling issues that they said they fixed this year. One of the most annoying bugs that also seemed like one of the easiest to fix is when you would actually go into a game in your Dynasty mode. No matter what you did, no matter what you set your settings to, it would always reset your settings in two specific areas. One of them being the kicking meter, which for whatever reason would reset from tap and tap to back to tap and hold. Now, if I got lucky, I would have a kickoff at the beginning of the game, and then when I went to tap and tap, I would basically just get this, you know, no kick animation where it would just basically squib kick or just kick the ball really short, which would ultimately cost me field position. But if it happened to the point where I would get down the field and have to kick a field goal before I realized this, I would ultimately miss the field goal 9 times out of 10, to the point where I'd have to call a timeout, go into the options and change this in the settings every single game, which to me is insane that they couldn't fix something this simple all year long. And you want me to believe that they fixed all the other issues in the game in an off season, which makes no sense. And if you're believing that, you're fooling yourself. And that's a small bug that they couldn't even improve to patch, where there's bigger gameplay issues like the double bracket plays that are only found in nickel formations, where basically if you choose that and your opponent is passing the ball, it'll change the animation first when it's running the ball. So right here we have this play. You can see both of the safeties are man aligned or man assigned to somebody because it's a pass play. But if my opponent was in a run play, say, then it's going to completely change how that looks, basically giving away whether my opponent's going to pass or run. As you can see now, I choose a run play, and the safeties have no animation. This has been an issue in the game since the game came out, because they never changed it from the second the game came out when they introduced these plays. I'm sure they most likely fixed these issues in College Football 26, but I wouldn't put it past them to have not fixed these issues, considering that they let these issues linger for more than a year. And if you think I'm just complaining about old issues from an old game, just remember that how you do anything is how you do everything. And EA has proven that time and time again, so don't be surprised when these issues come back in College Football 26, as we're already seeing a lot of these issues playing out in real time from their own heavily edited and heavily filtered gameplay videos that they're putting out from their own people. As we see the exact same gameplay issue here that we've seen in College Football 25, where game on the line, you see this guy here is covering absolutely nobody in the end zone, as pretty much every receiver on this side of the field is just wide open. And this is a situation where you basically touchdown to win with less than a minute to go in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, your only defender is just standing around guarding the back of the end zone.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
But there's countless other clips like this where you see a pursuit just not happening at all, where you see guys not chasing the ball carrier and just letting them score from like 15 yards away. I mean, there's a lot of gameplay issues that we're seeing, but you're not hearing these content creators point this stuff out because ultimately they don't want to bite the hand that feeds them in this situation, which is EA. And I don't think that's really a service to the people that are going to be buying the game and spending their hard-earned money. So just remember that when these games come out, that they're complicit. You know what I mean? It's like if you're going to walk the company line and be a company man, you're going to get held responsible the same way the company is. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to end the video there. But if you guys want to see more leaks about college football or about Madden, I have videos that I already made pop up on screen. So just click links. Until next time, thanks for watching, man. My shit out. Need more help or just want to show your support? Then head over to my Patreon and join my team, where you can get exclusive content like ebooks and bonus plays, as well as early access to my vids and more. Link in the description below.